Hello, everyone. My name is Laurin Jacobi. I've been a project and account manager at Agricon since 2021. And Delta Zofingen was one of the first clients I had the privilege of working with. And we have successfully completed many projects together since then. And this is also why I'm very pleased that Basil agreed to conduct this interview with us, since all employees at Delta Zofingen possess a really extensive shopware expertise. And this is also reflected in the complexity of the projects we've implemented so far. And I think, therefore, it's really interesting today to learn more about Delta and its working methods and projects. And I think we can just switch to you, Basil. Could you briefly introduce your company and your role?
Of course, thank you very much for having me. So, my name is Basil Beechen, and I'm responsible for the e-commerce and digital marketing here at Delta Zofingen. Delta Zofingen is a leading Swiss provider in system solutions around hygiene, cleaning, safety, and healthcare. And as you are aware, we have a very strong B2B focus. We are working around multiple industries with very specific customer needs, deliver high quality products, and are working around the four core themes I was just mentioning before. Um, Maybe something that I can point out is on our company or about our company is that we are on the market for 120 years. So we have a long history and tradition working in those fields.
Yeah, really interesting. That's also what you perceive in the project, that you're like a really company that sticks close together. Really great. Um, so now let's have a quick glimpse into the past and look at how it all began. So, do you remember? So, what made you to decide to use Shopware as your e-commerce platform, Basil?
Yes, we were looking for a CMS, we evaluated different system. And what made us decide to use Shopware is basically the fast implementation and the very strong e-commerce capabilities. Of course, also the good price performance ratio, which we evaluated, and also what we need in our field. I just mentioned that we are serving different industries, different customers, so we need high flexibility, but also starting from scratch, we needed a scalable solution. So we wanted to start fast, but then also improving our B2B capabilities. And this is what we found in Shopware, supports pricing, different roles, and also complex logics. And in the end, all these factors led to the decision that Shopware is the right solution for our needs.
Yes, so you have made a real transformation till then, I guess. Great. And what would you say, maybe looking back, what would you say were the key challenges in your digital commerce setup before implementing Shopware?
Looking back in our company history, we had extensive growth, also acquired different companies to extend our fields, and this led to a very fragmented CMS and shop landscape. We've had outdated legacy systems, partly pretty complex integrations. Further development was very slow. Also, the flexibility was limited, and a honestly speaking, consolidation was urgently needed.
Mm.
So these were the key challenges that we faced in the digital commerce setup.
Yeah, great. So you've talked a lot about flexibility and growth and everything. So what would you say, what new other opportunities for your company have you unlocked since implementing Shopware? Is there anything else you would like to point out here?
Yes, absolutely. So basically, we've gained a scalable digital sales channel. honestly speaking. So I'm not going to talk about the different features, but what we were looking for is a scalable digital sales channel that we can enhance with data-driven digital marketing. So as you can imagine, as a digital commerce responsible and also digital marketing, data is what make my eyes shine. I was looking for that. Um, Going a little bit further, we significantly enhanced our B2B capabilities. Um, Such as customer-specific pricing, and are now looking into further expand those capabilities. Maybe something that I also can point out is the time to market, which is now significantly faster, but also the testing and optimization. So what I want is to getting better 1% every day. And with the tech stack that we now have, we have that ability to improve step by step.
Yes, absolutely. Now, so we've now talked about the advantages of Shopware, which you see are many. And what convinced you that Agicon, so we as a company, are the right partner for handling all Shopware related matters?
Yeah, well, first of all, it is your very strong shopper specialization. So this was a key point. Then, other than that, I just mentioned that we have a very strong B2B focus. Agicon does that have as well. So you're not a generalist agency. Um, and we were very convinced that you can implement efficient, which leads to fewer detours. You have ERP integration experience, so you can imagine with that fragmented landscape, we do have different system, different interfaces. You have experience in that. Um, and in the end, all those factors led to that we were convinced that you are the right partner. We are going to talk about the delivered projects a little bit later on in the conversation, but I can already take that before going to that part. Um, we were right when we did that decision.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I think we have always a really smooth partnership with you and with Shopware. It feels really good, I have to say. Um, and you are right. Let's further on get more into the projects itself, but maybe just to point out for the audience, what was the very first project you carried out together with Agicon, and why was this maybe so important? Let's say for the joint continued growth of Shopware, Delta, and Agicon. What would you say?
The first project was migrating or implementing the very first Delta shop on Shopware. So basically, this led the foundation for the future collaboration at this very first project.
Mhm.
Um, yes, if you want to take it a little bit further, this led to just for giving a few examples to migrating the corporate website also into Shopware. Then we acquired a company called Putzlappen.ch. So we migrated that shop also to the Shopware platform. Last year, we also migrated an acquired company called Kunbiri to the Shopware platform. This in combination with a PIM integration, so also adding up a layer of complexity there. And what I can say, this very first step that we've had with this Shopware 5 to Shopware 6 migration um, felt kind of an evolution in the relationship we've had.
I'm just reflecting this. It's what was about yeah in 2021, and yeah, it felt so great when then the Shopware 6 store was live and everyone was so happy. Was a really great feeling. Yeah, I think this was like kind of a milestone for all of us. um, okay, maybe let's have a look at your capabilities and a little bit more on the core story. So what would you say, Basil? What does unleashing your capabilities mean for Delta in digital commerce?
We are to be very specific. It's a shift. It's not only a shift in technology, but also a shift in the mindset, in our processes, and it's a shift from a web shop or classical e-commerce channel into a digital B2B sales channel. Um, this is why we have or are currently implementing the Delta Connect program, which acts as a framework for all those activities. Delta Connect supports the sales digitally, is going to simplifying the ordering processes for our customers, but also reducing the manual work internally. And as mentioned before, it has a very strong focus and scalability and efficiency. So this means unleashing our capabilities and the know-how we have internally for us at Delta Zofingen.
Yeah, and I think it's also the thing that you have to handle so many projects at one time. So we've already pointed out yeah, some individual parts, but to resume, how many individual projects are currently being carried out in collaboration with Agicon? Can you just
Uh,
resume?
Actually, there's a lot ongoing. What I usually say also when communicating internally, I'm not talking about isolated projects because they're all connected to our Delta Connect program. But being more specific, there is the ongoing Shopware development. We've built that B2B foundation, which we are currently further extending. We just have recently upgraded our ERP, where you also did a great support. We are building up our product data landscape, which means implementing a PIM for all of our group companies. And all these projects in the end just lead to one goal, building a scalable sales channel.
What would you say, Basil? To what extent do Agicon and Shopware support you, let's say, in achieving the objectives of the various sub projects? Because of course it's a lot to do on your side, but maybe yeah, what would you say? What are the key points where Agicon and Shopware do support you?
So there is, from my perspective, different parts of it. So we have at one point we have Shopware, which is the platform which provides the needed flexibility, the scalability. And then we have Agicon as, let's call it, the implementation partner. Uh, you play a crucial role in translating business need into tech, and also providing the efficient execution. Very important for me, for both partners on the technology side, but also on the implementation side, is that you guys understand the B2B context. So we receive a lot of feedback, a lot of business need, and in the end, it is very important for us that we have a partner side that can translate those business needs into specific actions that we can carry out on our digital sales channels.
You were already mentioning the B2B project, which is also in our company just one of the most important projects we are doing right now. So I think it would be interesting for everyone to go more into detail about that. Um, so mm, maybe could you tell us what was the motivation behind it? So what motivated you to increase your focus on B2B context?
Basically, it was customer needs. So B2B is our core business. We identified a digital gap that we were having, but we also observed changing customer expectations. It is not that our digital sales channels are compared with our competition in the same market, but buyers also buy on a private basis. For example, on Amazon, or in Switzerland, Galaxus as a marketplace is very relevant. Um, So they kind of want that B2C like experience. They not just want it, they expect it. And this is what our sales reps felt when talking to our customers. And of course contributed to our motivation, so the changing customer expectations. But from my point of view, what is also worth to mention is that we do have a lot of efficiency potential when implementing those B2B needs or addressing those B2B needs. We have the ability to reduce manual work, and in the end, all these factors led to the Delta Connect program as a response.
Yeah, that's what we are implementing right now. And I mean, we see that the B2B modules itself kind of change the entire store logic, store structure. So there's lots of things that have to be done. And from your point of view, how have Shopware and Agicon helped you to better serve these complex B2B customer needs?
Basically, the answer lies in your question. So it is first of all the structured handling of complexity. This is very important because we receive a lot of customer needs and want to fulfill them, but in a structured and scalable way. When talking about features, it's like pricing, roles, ordering processes, but also enabling us in doing this in a step by step. So it is not only a change of the tech foundation that we are implementing, but also a change in processes within the organization, and in the end, the way how sales reps work. And this needs time. So Shopware and Agicon is enabling us to implementing that step by step in a structured way.
This is really good to hear. So you already pointed out also some objective which you wanted to reach, and maybe looking a little bit more on the customer side. So obviously there are many changes, but what kind of improvements does this bring for your customers? Maybe let's point this out a little bit.
The improvement for the customer is the overall experience, the buying experience, simplified processes, and they should be able to order faster, and they will be coming from a marketing perspective, being informed about or having the right information at the right time, at the right point, at their fingertip, and executing their buying process more efficient.
Could you just tell us a customer specific improvement itself? So as an example, what could it look like?
Starting very simple, when a customer logs in, he should see his individual prices. He should see the relevant products for him. I can mention that we have around 10K products. So it can be confusing for a customer, and we need to show him the relevant product for him with individual prices, enable him to reorder faster with less searching. So this could be one, or this is one example for a customer specific improvement.
Yeah, great. So I imagine this also helps you to improve your processes like ordering, pricing, like all the customer specific experiences. I guess it's all much faster than in the past, right?
Absolutely. And relating or coming back to processes, this is we just see an improved structure. The ordering process is simplified, and this basically this foundation led to a scalable build-up that we're now seeing. I have to disclose that we're not at the point where we want to be at the moment. So this is not fully implemented yet, but will be carried out in the framework of the Delta Connect program that I was just mentioning earlier before.
Okay, just in the end, let's have a look at the challenges of this project, because I know that you've already also connected some interfaces. So what are maybe the challenges when we look more with regard to these interfaces that need to be taken into account?
The biggest challenge is the system
Mhm.
integration. So we do have the shop system, the ERP, the PIM, which adds a lot of complexity to the project. We do have different system logics. We do need data consistency. Um, on top of that, we do have the B2B complexity that comes, and interfaces are just critical. But also there, we are pursuing a step-by-step approach, focus on a clean foundation that enables us. But keeping the focus on that is what I would say is the biggest challenge.
Yeah, I totally understand this. That's what we see every day in every project where different systems are connected. Yeah, but it's really good to hear that you have already yeah, some methods to overcome these. Um, what would be interesting as well, when we now step back from the project perspective and more to see what kind of impact does Shopware have on your business in general? Could you point out some things to that? So maybe,
Absolutely.
yeah, sorry. So maybe to be more specific, so what would you say, how did Shopware, for example, impacted your day-to-day operation or your team workflows, for example?
Basically, me and my team were working on Shopware on a day-to-day basis, so it had a huge impact on our day-to-day operations. But pointing out, it helped us to gain more structure, clear priorities, also having better alignment between business and tech. So I'd say, yeah, of course, as we are working on that platform, it has a lot of impact on our workflows.
Mm.
Uh, at the moment, it feels like we've changed to from being reactive to a more proactive way of working.
And would you say, have you been able to launch new channels, products, or campaigns faster?
Yeah, absolutely. I can point out one example. I mentioned Galaxus a little bit further. Galaxus is the most important marketplace here in Switzerland, and we managed to launch there within just a few months, which would not have been possible without the tech stack we have. So, summarized, we have an idea. We can fast test it, execute it, and then, if the test is successful, scale it.
Okay, when we go more into detail about that, is it possible that you share some tangible results about maybe efficiency, growth, flexibility? What would you say?
As you can imagine, Lauren, I'm not going to share any revenues here in this conversation. But what I can say, if we focus just on operations, our processes significantly increased the speed. I just pointed out that we do now have a structured way, a more structured way when working. The efficiency increased significantly, and I can point out, although I'm not going to share any numbers, that this also led to increased revenues, of course, in the end. Um, but not just focusing on that, when just coming back to the Galaxus example, it enabled us to focus on new opportunities, test them quickly, which is for me the most important thing. You see a lot of opportunities when looking around in the digital world, and my approach, or our approach here, is to test fast, and when it works, to scale.
Yeah, really interesting. Would you say that there has been a really big game changer for your business in that context?
Absolutely. When looking a few year backs, or also talking to my colleagues that were part of the team already back in the days, um, the shop system was more like a supporting tool and is now perceived as a sales channel.
Mhm.
It's not a tech stack, but it really is a sales channel. Um, as pointed out, we're not at the point where I'd like to be or where we'd like to be, but we're developing into that direction. So the shop system is not a feature, uh, but it's a capability
Mhm.
that we do have within our organization. So I would say that's the biggest game changer for us here.
Yes, yes, of course. I totally understand. Um, Maybe because also, of course, in the context of B2B and shop platforms and everything, you want to serve the clients and so on. So the context or the role of AI gets really important and always more important, also regarding the data structure and so on, connection to PIM system. So what does AI or automation in general, what kind of role does it play in your setup?
So of course the developments of the past few years also played a significant role here in Zofingen. I can say that AI tools are already in use at the moment. The focus is on product data, content, and enrichment of that.
Mhm.
It has significantly improved our data quality, increases the efficiency based on structured data, but also the features that were carried out in the Shopware system just makes us more efficient than before. And I can really say that the AI developments really are an enabler of that buzzword I just mentioned a few times now, scaling.
Mhm.
Um, and you can imagine with a lot of products uh, and I would say not the biggest team in the digital world. We are desperately seeking for more efficient way to carry out our processes and operations, and AI enables us to do so.
Yeah, I also think that nowadays AI is just a key feature. Yeah, it's not an option. It's just a must to just use it, as you said, to be more efficient and so on. So it's really good to hear that it's also yeah, that it plays a role in your company as well. So yeah, I think we've heard a lot about the past now, about the projects we are doing right now, about your strategy. Maybe just to bring it to an end and have a look about what is coming up. Um, so what future projects do you have planned together with us as Agicon, and maybe where do you see yourselves, your company in 1 or 2 years?
The focus at the moment, and it will be for the next 2 years, is expanding those B2B capabilities that we've already implemented. Meaning the goal is that the Delta Connect program is fully integrated into our processes here at Delta Sovican. We would like to strengthen the ERP integration. One of the most important projects is the development of our PIM system, or the further development of our PIM system and data landscape. And I'm looking forward for the next at least 2 years to seeing that step-by-step evolution. All with the goal building a scalable, efficient, and most importantly, integrated sales channel.
So we see the pipeline is full. So me as a project manager, so I'm really pleased to hear that. So we can just grow together, continue to that, and yeah, it's also really great to yeah to make projects together with you. And just maybe to resume from your side, what are you, Basil, particularly proud of when it comes to the relationship with Shopware and Agicon?
I'm not going to share only my point of view because I talked to the team just before this recording, um, and I can say that I'm talking in the name of the team. What we really appreciate in the relationship is that it does not feel like a client-vendor relationship, but it feels more like an extended team that we have. Agicon Shopware, but also Delta Zofingen, we have shared goals. We have a close collaboration based on trust. And to summarize that, what we are proud of is the way of working, which is for me the biggest success in these relationships.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think I can only give this back. So communication with you always feels like being on an equal footing. Yeah, it does not feel like client and vendor. And this is also what the developers tell me, yeah, because they are carrying out the work, the pieces of development of plugins. And it's also like you pointed out, as a real partnership. And I'm really happy for this as well, because it isn't anything which is usual. Yeah, this is something which I think which we can point out, and I'm also really proud and happy with that. So
Thank you. Very glad to hear that.
so yeah, I think this was a lot of information for everyone who is just looking or hearing at this interview. So Basil, thank you so much for your time, for the research, because I think everyone noticed that there's kind of work behind it, many questions to answer. And yeah, thank you really from my side. It was very great.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me.